Okay, so I was talking about engagement in autism. I've been working on how crucial direct engagement is in typical development. So my interest today was in shifting this to understanding what role engagement plays in autism, where there might be deficits or delays in engagement at different stages in the development of children with autism. And in order to do that, I started off asking what's actually going on when we engage, whether we engage with a really pretty object, a sunset, a person who's talking to us in a really interesting way, like you could be.
Yeah.
What's actually happening there in terms of my involvement, your involvement, the contributing role of both parties in this engagement, and so on and so forth. And I'm also very interested, and I think that's one of the things that I was exploring there, is the implications for intervention with autism of what consequences engagement has. So if engagement transforms you, so if you have a momentary connection with somebody, somebody makes a joke in a train and you laugh, what happens to you afterwards? It does change you, at least for a few minutes. But what about sort of longer term effects of engagement within development? And if it does matter, engagement does matter in development, what can we do when it's problematic in autism? Do we focus on it? How do we focus on it? What can we do to enhance? Oh, I don't know, like, okay, I'll talk about the clowning stuff then. We found, for instance, in typically developing infants, that there's, at a certain age, somewhere around 7-8 months or so, they start getting very interested in people's laughter. And they start being able to connect that laughter with the things that they themselves are doing. And then they start repeating those things to re-elicit the laughter. You know, they've accidentally discovered, they do a funny thing, you laugh at it, and they think, oh, this is fun, and then they go on until it becomes really boring. Now, what's really interesting about that phenomenon is that it really needs you to be responsive to me. You as the parent or the carer have to get involved. If you don't find it funny, you don't laugh, I don't actually have the opportunity to explore that aspect of myself, and which can lead down to different things. And in autism, again, that from the whole situation, clowning tends to be a bit problematic. You know, even if people laugh, the child with autism quite often doesn't get what it is that's provoking them.
And you've kind of answered my last question, but just kind of see if we can pull it out a little bit more. So really, the last question is about what's the sort of practical implications of your research then? How does that play out, say, in the family or, you know, in society?
I think one implication, if you're going to take engagement seriously, is that you can't just engage on your own. So you can't say, I'm going to get the child to engage and you yourself be detached about it. You kind of got to be in there. And it's very, very hard, I think, to write scripts for engagement. You kind of got to put yourself, you've got to be on the ball and put yourself onto the floor, as it were.